Hey everybody, this is James Owens here to show you guys how I helped my wife Hannah set up her Calendly to have multiple presentations on one link. So we'll go ahead and get started. So it's a bit of a two-step process. The first thing you have to do is set up the ability for the presentation that you're wanting to send out. So, with the Rising Tide and the Team Beach Bosses being separate Zoom IDs, these have to be set up with separate calendar availabilities. So, we'll go ahead and show you how it was done using just the Rising Tide one here. And you just repeat the steps for any additional calendar that you want to do. So, the first thing we want to do is go ahead and start a new calendar schedule. Now we can name this anything we want. I'm going to go ahead and name it testing just so that we can see it as different from everything else that we already have set up. So we'll go ahead and create this. Now it defaulted copying the availability from previous calendars. Let me go ahead and edit the availability here. Alright, there we go. So now I have a new calendar with the default availability that it's going to give you from start of day to end of day. Now what we want to do is from the list view here, we're going to want to set the hours that are available per the calendar that's shared. So for the calendar here, the available hours is 9 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we're going to want to create those same availabilities for our calendar since those are the times the trainings are available. So from here, we're going to need to add new intervals. And since there's 3 intervals in a day, we're going to want 3 intervals. So our first one starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, which is 11 a.m. Central Time. No. 11 a.m. Central Time to 12 p.m. Central Time. Okay. Then our next availability is at 12 Pacific, which is 2 p.m. Central until 3 p.m. Central. Since each training is an hour long, we'll just use the hour intervals. And then the final one is at 6 Pacific, which is 8 p.m. Central to 9 p.m. Okay. Now, since all of these dates or times are the same every day of the week, we can now just go ahead and copy over these scheduled dates that we set up on the first day of the week to every day of the week. So if we use our copy times button here on the side, we can then select which days of the week we want those to be applied to, and then hit apply. This will create a reoccurring schedule for every day of the week with our specific times. Now, when we look at the calendar overview, we'll see all of our times that we have specified match up with the times available each day. With each monthly calendar comes days of the month where certain hours are not available, such as the 8th and the 9th. There is nobody available for that training at 12 o'clock Pacific time. So we'll need to remove those availabilities so that we don't have potential agents showing up at a meeting without anyone presenting. These are what are called exemptions to our calendar. So if we return to Calendly, we can add days and override the days that we are available on specific days of the week. So starting from today, the next day that there is not an availability is the 15th at 9 a.m. So if we go to the 15th, we can say what hours are we available? Well, we're not available here, so we're going to remove that one. And we can apply that change to this date. Okay. Now our calendar is going to show that we are not available for that first meeting time. The only ones are the 2 and 8 p.m. Central Time. Nobody is able to schedule anything at 11 a.m. with that override. We would continue to do the same for all the days that have no presenters available per the calendar to complete our calendar. Okay, now that we've put in the overrides for all the dates per our calendar, we can confirm by looking at them here that it matches up with the calendar that is shared in the groups. And this calendar is ready to create a link for. So now we're going to go back to our home and create a new event. Okay, this is a group event. Event name, we're going to say it's testing, again, to keep in line with the calendar we created. The location, Zoom, and then the description. This is where we go ahead and enter in our Zoom ID and password so that the people who are scheduling have that information. Okay. The event link will auto-populate based off the name, and the maximum rate spots you can just enter a character for. I like this green, so we're going to go with that for our color. Now next is we could tell what range we're going for. Since it's only a month that we have the calendar for, I like to keep it 7 days in advance that they can schedule for, so they can't schedule for 2 or 3 weeks out and then forget about it. Okay, the calendar duration, these are hour longs, and we're going to use an existing for this event. Now, what schedule do you want to use? Well, we want to use testing, the one we created, which has the days we're available and the overwrite dates that we set up. Okay. Now, once you finish that, you can go ahead and hit next, and this event has been created. So now this event is ready to be shared with anybody. You can send them the specific link, or if you go back to your home and copy your main Calendly link, that will have all of your presentation times that you set up. So we did the one here for testing. We would repeat this step for any additional calendars that we want people to have access to, and then send them just the one link with all of the calendar schedules on them. And that is how to do it. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to